slip idea how slip, bob and weave. That's one of the best things that exists in striking. It's a slip and bob and weave. So let's have a look at how to do it. So the slip is that if your opponent tries to punch you and you just slip out of the way of the punch, and with head movement you avoid the punch altogether. So that's the best thing of the slip. You have zero impact at all. You completely avoid getting touched. And there's a technique to it and a strategy. We're gonna first have a look at the technique, at the movement itself, and then at the strategy of how to do it. So it's very important that when I slip, maybe a jab, that I still have a look at my opponent. I'm still keeping eye contact. And when I'm slipping a right straight, it's the same system, okay? So I'm slipping and I'm keeping my eye forward. To me, that's number one priority. Second priority is keep your hands up, okay? One of the major mistakes when people slip is they start to play the rumba. So they slip like, ha, ha, ha. And obviously that's a huge setup for getting punched. Especially in the bob and weave, which I kind of lump together with the slip. People bob and weave, like go to the side and then they bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave. And that always reminds me of that Chiquita Banana advertising that I've seen as a kid. So don't do it, keep your hands up. Even quite the opposite. When I go down, I raise my hands or I drop my face into my guard, like so, okay? Third aspect is stay inside of your base and keep correct structure. So the slip to the side is not this, so I'm not leaning on my back foot, okay? And it's not this, I'm not bending. I'm keeping a straight back and I'm rotating my hip and bending in the hip and 45 degrees that way. So that's a correct way to slip. And to the right, it's the very same. So I rotate and you see my hip and chest stay aligned, my back stays straight, and same is true for the bob and weave, where I slip, bob and weave, boom. So when I bob and weave, I don't bend and I don't look down. I don't need to check the feet of my opponent. I'm trying to bob and weave by moving up and down. So I keep eye contact. As now, maybe you've seen, right? I wanted to come up and his left hand came and I was able to duck again. But when I'm looking down, I have no idea what's happening here, and when I'm moving up, I'm taking a chance of getting hit. Straight back, down and up. Straight, down and up. Down and up, down and up. In that maybe a U kind of motion, or even preferably an O kind of motion, where you slip to one side, drop, slip to the other side, come up, back to the middle. Pap, 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 pap. And of course use your feet. So I'm trying to slip, bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave. Okay? So that's the movement of it. The huge advantage that it gives you is that you can slip and punch at the same time. You can cut the corner, you can reduce the distance. So I'm here, and if I can expect the jab, I can slip beyond the side. If I expect him to attack and I have no idea how, I can bob and weave, cut the corner, beautiful. So now let's talk about the strategy, when to do it. And there's 3 ways of doing a slip or bob and weave. The first one is the one that people instinctively think about the most, but it's the one that is done rarely, if ever. It's reactive. So a slip is not done when I'm here, I have no idea what he's doing. I see, oh, he's doing a right straight, I'm like, I'm slipping towards here, and then I'm seeing, oh, what is he doing? Oh, and I'm slipping here. Man, I am not that fast, and I doubt anybody is. So the second is that I have a preset pattern, okay? For example, slipping, slipping, bob and weave. It's a very good pattern, because very likely when he's coming towards you, he will start with a jab. So slipping to the outside of the jab is a good idea. And very likely, no matter how, he's coming with the right straight, especially when he's seeing me move away of his jab, he's trying to hit me. So I'm slipping straight away to the other side, just because I think there's a high probability of him doing it. Okay? And when you miss your right punch and you see your opponent's face right there, what are you gonna do? You're gonna try and hook him. So when he's attacking me, if I do slip, slip, bob and weave, I got a very high chance of avoiding his punches altogether. And it's surprisingly difficult to hit somebody who does the right slip, left slip, bob and weave, because you need to adapt your punches to a position where you would normally not do it. You would need to punch where you usually jab, and then right straight down here. And who attacks by doing pop, boof? And he would need to plan it beforehand. So it's very difficult if I have those preset patterns, or maybe I'm gonna do pop, 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 and boom. To me that's a preset pattern. Jab, right straight, left hook, and I'm dropping and bob and weaving towards his left side. It's beautiful, because from here, pop, 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 very likely his answer is gonna be something like a left hook. And it's incredibly unlikely that he's doing from here, pop, pop, a right uppercut. Right? Or a left uppercut for that matter. So if you get pop, 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 nobody, almost nobody is doing an uppercut naturally from there, right? You want a straight punch or hook. So those preset patterns are the second opportunity, and the third one is the best and the most difficult. I read my opponent's preferred combinations and I adapt upon them. So maybe I'm coming in and I'm like left, right, left, and he's boom. He's punching me with, maybe left, right, straight, doesn't matter. So I know, okay, I'm not doing something else, blah, blah, blah. And a couple combinations later, I expect him to do exactly that. So I'm pam, 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 and I'm poof, poof. Just because I expect him to do left, right, straight. Because I've done that read, I expect him, I have a high probability of him doing that exact combination, okay? Or maybe a couple of times he's done that, he's coming in and he's throwing a hard right overhand. And so when I know that he's coming in a hard right overhand, boop, I'm slipping under it. Not because I see him coming with a right overhand, but because I read the pattern, he's stepping in hard, so he's probably gonna do a right overhand, boom, boom, boom. Which then of course would force him, it's a bit another strategy, to adapt as well. To maybe fake right overhand and then throw an uppercut, and well, then he would hit me again. So making a good read, third opportunity of applying the strategy of the slips and bob and weave, of avoiding punches altogether. I hope that helps you. At first, try to practice the movements in front of a mirror to make them clean, to keep your hands up, to keep eye contact, keep your nose forward, right? Keep the cover, don't drop the hand. Then try to learn and apply set pattern of upper body movements, and then in sparring try to make reads about your training partner of his preferred attacks and try to avoid them. It's gonna look like absolute boxing magic, and it kinda is. That's the basic of how you slip and bob and weave and how you apply them in sparring and in fighting. Hope you like it. If you got any questions, just drop a comment. I'm gonna answer it as good as I can, and hope to see you next time.